Ammandas. せよ。ナモアミダンブ。ナモアミダンブ。ナモアミダンブ。ナモアミダンブ。ナコウムゲニョコクイサイのうげにさわりなしこうたくかむらぬものぞなきなんじぎよ奇妙せよ。ナモアミダンブ。ナモアミダンブ。ナモアミダンブ。ナモアミダンブ。ナモアミダンブ。ナモアミダンブ。ナモアミダンブ。ナモアミダンブ。ナモアミダンブ。ナモアミダンブ。少女公明なだびなしぐしこんのゆえなれば一切のご受けものぞこりぬ一挙へよ奇妙せよ。ナモアミダンブ。ナモアミダンブ。ナモアミダンブ。ナモアミダンブ。ナブコンセンエン最大一根源の部と名付けたり三図の国案開くなり大用具を奇妙せよ。がんにしくどく平等せいさい動物も大心おうじょうあんはこ Namanda, 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 samanda, samanda, samanda. Thank you very much. Please join me in Gasho. The radiance of enlightenment in its brilliance transcends all limits. Thus, Amida is called Buddha of the light of purity. Once illuminated by this light, we are freed of karmic defilements and attain emancipation. 道光明老長絶せり、症状鉱物と申すなり、ひとたび交渉かぶる者、極空を除き下脱をうと。ナマンダス、ナマンダス、ナマンダス、ナマンダス。Good morning, everyone. Today we are observing the Eitaikyo service, or perpetual memorial service. It's a memorial service to pay tribute to our predecessors who came before us and established not only this temple, but also the BCA, the Buddhist Churches of America. But if you go further than that, Honzanyan headquarters in Kyoto, Japan. And the service is dedicated to all those who lived and died as Buddhists in due respect of their contribution to the growth of the local Sangha. And it's an opportunity to express our gratitude to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. I know it's kind of hard to remember these Buddhist holidays or special services because we don't really have a custom that goes with them. Hopefully we could change that here in America. We could maybe do something for that, but we don't exactly do like a gift exchange during this time of year. We don't have a special kind of meal. We don't give candy out to children. We don't have like a special kind of dance or sing a special kind of song or anything like that. But it's an important service nonetheless because it gives us an opportunity to remember and recall past members who have come before us and sacrificed a lot of their time, their money, their energy at this temple to ensure that this place would exist for years to come. At what other time do we do this, where we remember the Sangha who came before us? We might do things like memorial services and like Obon, Hatsubon service, right? But these are reserved specifically for our immediate family members. Eitaikyo is different in that we are celebrating our community as a whole. Your friends, Oji-chan or Aba-chan, who said hello to, and you said hello to them, but you didn't really get to know them too well, or other families at the temple, right, who have contributed a lot as well. These are families we are recognizing as a whole. So because of all their efforts put together that enable us to have a temple, we can now call home. And we can't forget this very important point. And that's why Eitaikyo is a very important service. So if we think about this observance in terms of time, past, present, and future, we are presently remembering and reflecting on our past in order to ensure our future. So when we remember from time to time where we come from and the sacrifices that were made to get us to where we are today, we are more inclined to understand our role in the history of time. We are more inclined to make sure that we as the present generation do our part to make sure that the next generation has the tools that they need, such as spiritual fulfillment, to be able to carry on the baton as the next generation thereafter. In this way, our past ancestors are still working on us today. They are still influencing us. They are still nurturing us and taking care of us in the sense that they instill within us the understanding of our crucial role in history. In the Jodo Shinshu context, we are here to pass on the baton of the Nembutsu teaching on to the next generation. But we won't do that unless we come to understand its importance and why this profound teaching makes a difference in our lives. I remember when I was a little boy, I went to what's called Kumon. Kumon, I think, is still popular here today, but I did Kumon for a long, long time. And I think I went from A through all the way to letter I or somewhere thereabouts. But it was grueling. I hated it, right? I hated Kumon the whole time that I was there. And I struggled so much through it. But because of Kumon, I was able to get through high school because I'm not really a math guy. So math doesn't really come naturally to me. So I struggled through it, but I was able to get through it because I think in large part due to Kumon. But what I take away from Kumon is not really the math part of it, but really the part about learning about perseverance and and sticking with something and having patience when doing problem solving and taking on, big problems like this, that it takes gaman, it takes patience, it takes perseverance. And I think that's something that I learned through Kumo, which now I would recommend to my own child and my friends' kids, because I now see the importance of why I need to pass this on to the next generation. So in much the same way, Buddhism gives us the spiritual fulfillment, and when we see its importance and its significance, and we would naturally want to pass this on to the next generation. So today I'd like to speak about a topic a little bit more doctrinal. So if you go ahead and fall asleep, that's totally okay. I know your face is on the screen, but actually I'm looking at my what I'm supposed to be reading or telling you guys, so I don't see your faces. So if you fall asleep, please feel free to do so. But today's topic is a question that I often get, and it's something that I think needs to be clarified. And it's the question of, is Amida Buddha a god? Is Amida Buddha a deity or some kind of higher power? And I'm sure you might have wondered this yourself, or maybe someone has asked you about this as well. So I use such phrases in my own personal, when I speak about Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, such phrases as salvific working, or I talk about Amida Buddha as a mother figure or a parent figure, or that we receive compassion from Amida Buddha. Such phrases like these make it seem as if Amida Buddha was some kind of higher power that protects me like a god or a deity. In addition to this, we say the phrase Namo Amida Butsun, which translates to I take refuge in Amida Buddha. So again, it sounds as if we're saying like, we are praying to a god, a higher like form that will grant our wishes. And we also talk about the Pure Land, right? A perfect place where there is no suffering and all beings are equal, right? This also makes it sound as if Amida Buddha and the Pure Land is like a god and is heaven. The resemblance is striking to the average person. So then how do we make sense of a religion like ours that claims to be Buddhist, but sounds oddly like Christianity or some kind of other religious tradition where there is a deity, right? Shouldn't Buddhism be more about self-help, meditation, and finding our true self, right? Or being in the here and now, as we like to say, right? Mindfulness, right? These are kind of catchphrases that have been used lately about Buddhism. So these are questions that are often asked of Shin Buddhist ministers, and I'd like to address that problem today. And here's one approach to it. Imagine that you're given a gift, let's say a nice necktie or a set of earrings or something, and the gift is obviously very expensive. When you receive the gift, who do you say thank you to? In order for there to be the transaction of the gift from party A to party B, there must be two separate entities or individuals. In this case, we receive the gift, that is the meaning of life, the life or the gift of truth. And it doesn't just spawn upon us, right? So if you see that you're being given a gift, in other words, something that you wouldn't have otherwise have known about, that is the gift that you received. And what we say thank you to then is whatever gives us that answer, which here is true reality or Amida Buddha. So we depict truth to be a figure that gives us a gift. To give you another example, imagine some kind of ocean, right? And when you imagine an ocean to yourself, you might imagine the Pacific Ocean. Right? Even the oceans are all connected, even though they are all connected. We call, when we think of the ocean, we think of Pacific Ocean because it's closest to us. It's what we understand. So the vast ocean of oneness, we have to label in order to understand. The ocean doesn't call itself the Pacific Ocean or the Atlantic Ocean, right? But we put those labels in order to make sense of the ocean and the coordinates and its features. And so for us people living here in the West Coast of the United States, the closest ocean to us is the Pacific Ocean. And there are oceans like, the Atlantic or the Japan Sea, Mediterranean, Indian Sea, on and on it goes, right? But we know the Pacific Ocean most intimately. We've been there. We've seen it from the Golden Gate Bridge, or when we visit our relatives down in LA or in San Diego, right? Or maybe we went on a day excursion to Half Moon Bay, right? At any rate, We have had more exposure, more experiences, more instances of the Pacific Ocean. So when someone talks to us about an ocean in general or a large body of water, we tend to think of the Pacific Ocean. In much the same way, this vast reality of truth is so vast, we don't know what to call it. We can't begin to understand or to comprehend it. So it's like the concept of infinity. Have you ever thought about what infinity is like? Infinity is really, it is endless, right? It's mind-boggling if you think about the concept of infinity, right? So absolute truth is the same way. It's immeasurable, it's incomprehensible, but we have access to that truth through Amida Buddha's compassion. We know warmth and love because we feel it through our friends and our family. And these small examples show us what our relationship to true reality is like. And that true reality embraces us with the same warmth and love that we feel with others around us. We don't call, we don't know what to call that true reality, but Amida Buddha tells us, Shinran Shoni tells us, the Nembutsu tells us that the name of true reality is Amida Buddha. And we depict this Buddha in human form to provide us with a connection to that reality. And this is why the depiction of Amida Buddha is given. It is true reality that takes on form to show us truth that is beyond us, but also embraces us. So in short, Amida Buddha is not a separate entity from us. It is not a god. It is not a deity, and we don't pray to it. It is truth itself that is both beyond us, but also embraces us. It's like the universe, right? The universe is so vast and limitless. It is beyond us, but we are within it as well. We have to call it something in order to comprehend it or to begin to comprehend it. So we call it, quote unquote, universe. But here's the difference, though, between us and, say, science, okay? Our understanding of the universe is that it is not a reality that is cold or dead or nothing, just is, or a bunch of chemical reactions or simply physical phenomenon. Although we do not deny the scientific truth in these things, the universe to us is much more than just an objective phenomenon. The universe to a Shin Buddhist is a realm of warmth, nurture, care, bond, connection, togetherness, with never a feeling of loneliness. To a Shin Buddhist, the universe is compassionate because it lets us know that we are embraced within it. And that is the difference between Jodo Shinshu Buddhism and science, a slight difference, right? We are not denying science, of course not, but the way we take it, the way we interpret it is a little bit different. So we are intimately involved with this universe, and we have a relationship with this universe, and that relationship is one of warmth. So when we say Namo Amida Butsu, we are affirming our understanding of our relationship with this true reality that is beyond us. And we call this universe a true reality, Amida Buddha. And we give it human qualities to show us the bond or the relationship that we have with that reality. So you might be thinking, what is the point in seeing reality in this way? Why is it necessary for us to understand true reality with human qualities? Because when we understand and see reality in this way, the answer is, when we see a reality in this way, is that our life takes on new meaning. No longer do we see ourselves as separate entities just trying to make it in this world of delusion and suffering. Instead, we see that our lives become our connection to this great reality. We now know that our life is sacred because the universe is sacred. True reality is sacred. And when we see that true reality moves on the principle of wisdom and compassion, we see things now with the lens of gratitude. Everything that happens in this life of ours has deep and profound meaning now. I'm not saying that everything is going to go our way somehow, or that things will be happy all the time. But I am saying that the birthday parties that you had for your kids weren't just birthday parties, right? Your relationship with your parents wasn't just some random happening in the universe that just happened. Right? The car accident, the natural disaster, the death in the family, all of these things that you have experienced, both happy and sad, good and bad, significant and mundane, all give a profound meaning to your life. Our lives should not be treated lightly. and our lives matter. You matter. There is no other you. You have to be you, right? And when we awaken to this reality of compassion, our true authentic self comes about, but not in some egotistical, oh, I'm the center of the universe kind of way, right? It's this authentic self that now lives grounded in Amida Buddha's great compassion. And for that, we start to live in gratitude. Our mindset changes from one of just egocentricity to that of now living in gratitude. So when you get asked, is the Buddha a god or a deity or some higher power? The answer is no, right? Amida Buddha is the embodiment of true reality. It's like when you take a medicine. And medicine, if you look at the pill, the content of the pill, the white powder inside, that is true reality, right? It takes the form of the pill, in other words, the capsule, and says on it like Tylenol, right? So in place of Tylenol, it's Namo Amida Butsu, right? And the medicine will then treat our illness of egocentricity and blind passion. So the Buddha is not something we pray to. We don't ask the Buddha for forgiveness. We simply affirm to the Buddha that we hear the calling voice of truth that embraces us for who we are, and we receive the warm embrace of this true reality. So in closing, Amida Buddha is true reality that both transcends us but also embraces us. When I depict Amida Buddha as a compassionate being, please understand that I'm not trying to say that Amida Buddha is a deity. Rather, I am trying to show that Amida Buddha is the embodiment of true reality. Just as if we say thank you to a person who gives us a gift, we say thank you to Amida Buddha, to this true reality who gives us the gift of the meaning of life. And this is what we mean by Amida Buddha and the Pure Land. Amida Buddha is what prompts us to feel gratitude for this life that we have been given, where we then respond with Namo Amida Butsu. And Namo Amida Butsu means, Amida Buddha, I hear your calling voice, and I respond by saying the name Namo Amida Butsu. So with that, I would like to close today, and hopefully I clarified the issue of the difference between Amida Buddha and a god or a deity. So please join me, Gasho. The radiance of enlightenment in its brilliance transcends all limits. Thus, Amida is called Buddha of the light of purity. Once illuminated by this light, we are freed of karmic defilements and attain emancipation. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
I will now read our pledge in English, and Sensei will follow in Japanese. Breaking out of my shell, I will share a warm smile and speak gentle words, just like the kind Buddha. Not becoming lost in my greed, anger, and ignorance, I shall think and act with an open mind, just like the calm and peaceful Buddha. Not putting myself first, I will share in the joy and sadness of others, just like the compassionate Buddha. Realizing the gift of life I have received, I shall strive to live each day to its fullest, just like the Buddha who tirelessly works to liberate all. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Okay, I would like to read the Japanese. 私たちの誓い。一つ自分の殻に閉じこもることなく、穏やかな顔と優しい言葉を大切にします。微笑み語りかける仏様のように。一つむさぼり怒り愚かさに流されず、しなやかな心と振る舞いを心がけます。心安らかな仏様のように。一つ自分だけを大事にすることなく、人と喜びや苦しみを分かち合います。慈悲に満ち満ちた仏様のように。一つ生かされていることに気づき、日々に精一杯努めます。人々の救いに尽くす仏様のように。ナモアミダ仏、ナモアミダ仏、ナモアミダ仏、ナモアミダ仏。